How low can Bitcoin fall? In this quick video, we're going to take a look on the data that we have on the charts and on other indicators. I'm going to do an educational guess to predict how low can Bitcoin go in the upcoming weeks or months. The chart data, according to the supply and the demand, is there, and I cannot ignore that. So I'm going to put myself in the shoes of a person that wants to buy more Bitcoin for a cheaper price. And in other words, at what levels I would buy more Bitcoin personally if the shit started hitting the fan. So without wasting everyone's time, this beautiful Saturday, let's jump straight into our charts. Again, we are on the daily time frame, Bitcoin. So what is going on in the market? We have 50-day moving average and 200-day moving average. So I'm going to try to navigate myself based on those trend lines and of course on some more indicators. But the good thing is that Bitcoin is still inside this range, inside this flag between $108,000 and $107,000, and of course $90,000. My expectations, as I told you in my previous video, I do expect and I do believe that there's a high chance to retest $90,000, the bottom of this channel once again. And of course, I was waiting for another trend line to be formed, a little bit a sharper one. The more touches I have, the more confirmation I have for a short-term perspective where I would like to open my buy long position if we're going to experience that breakout. So we have like a two trend lines, two descending trends that acts as a resistance, and I'm keeping my eyes on those on the lower time frame, like on a 4-hour time frame. So let's just jump quickly on a 4-hour time frame. Yes, descending trend, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and I'm waiting for a breakout. Of course, death cross, which is not good. But yeah, we're gonna talk about 50-day moving average that most of the time indicates where our potential support and resistance are. So right now we broke down 50-day moving average, so there's a huge chance and like a high probability to retest $90,000 once again. The main problem is I don't know how hard Bitcoin could drag altcoins prices together if it's gonna start falling once again. So we'll see how the market will react. So I'm not panicking at all. I've seen a lot in the past, like 3-4 cycles. Well, it is what it is. Markets tends to trend up, but I mean, the pullbacks are inevitable. I'm always like telling you guys, secure gains and the pullbacks are inevitable, and like I'm still bullish. But if we're gonna see pullback, I have to be prepared for the worst, expect the best, but be prepared for the worst. I have to identify those beautiful demand zones, at what levels I would buy more Bitcoin or especially Ethereum. Despite the fact that the Trump and BlackRock is still buying, it doesn't really matter at this point. I mean, if the price is gonna start dropping, they're gonna accumulate more, and they're gonna end up by, let's just say, doing that dollar cost average strategy, ended up being in that sweet juicy spot, the average price that they bought. And if the market starts to pumping up, they're still gonna make a lot. They're gonna make a lot of money from it. So that's the beauty of the dollar cost average strategy. If you're a Bitcoin believer, accumulate more dollar cost average. But yeah, we need to identify those juice levels. What is the best levels for us to buy more? So yeah, let's just stick to the plan for what we were talking about. We have this ascending trend line that indicates our support and together connects perfectly with the 200 EMA. 200 moving average is, let's just say, is the most strongest support on the daily time frame. So I do believe that we have a chance to retest let's just say, the bottom of this channel, $90,000. And if we're going to see a small drawdown, a $90,000 won't hold us. So then it's going to be like $85,000, $86,000 Bitcoin price. So yes, it is a very realistic scenario to see that. And yeah, according to the data that we have, we cannot ignore that. The data that we have, it is there. And yeah, for us to be bullish again on the short term, we have the Bitcoin's mission is to break through this descending trend line and start retesting this one. So the data we have, the more touches we have, the more confirmation we have, and yeah, trend lines work. So yeah. And yeah, so the mid-range, another retest on the mid-range would be from the short-term bullish perspective right there, and maybe another drawdown to retest $90,000 that is beautifully would be connected with this ascending trend line. But there's a catch. Please watch this video till the end. Despite the fact that right now we are facing that extreme, let's just say, a fear, 44%, fear ingredient index on the Bitcoin. I'm just going to remove that, just a quick reminder. And of course, on, let's just say, let me just put historical fear and greed index on the Bitcoin produced by bitbo.io. Sometimes I'm using this website. It's absolutely free. I'm not promoting them, so go check it out. It's absolutely free. They have a plenty cool indicators that identifies, or let's just say showed us the bigger picture, what is going on in the market and where we are at the current moment. So we cannot ignore that we're facing that extremely overbought territory, and there's still a probability to see a pullback. Every single time we see a rally to the upside, pullback, rally to the upside, pullback, rally to the upside, a nasty, boring consolidation, if you remember during the summer. Right now, we experience another rally, and a consolidation or a pullback would be a healthy and a natural thing in the crypto market. So please stop, I don't want to be rude, but please stop whinging, because this is healthy and this is normal. But the worst thing is that on this, if this is going to start falling, or we're going to experience a small pullback and the Bitcoin dominance is going to be correlated with the Bitcoin drop, or it's going to start pumping all over again. I don't want to even imagine how Bitcoin's drop gonna drag together with itself, altcoin price. So how low the altcoins can go. But about altcoins, how low they can go, I'm gonna make the separate video. So that is pretty much it. And of course, based on the power law model, of course, bitbo.io, I'm gonna talk that later, because why? Despite the fact that I'm expecting this type of pullback together with this 50-day 200 moving average, only if this ascending trend line won't hold us, this ascending support, and we're gonna decide to go even lower, every single time we forget one thing: we have to zoom out. And we're gonna go on the linear charts. Right now we are on the logarithmic charts, 1 daily time frame. We're gonna jump on the weekly time frame. I see a lot of demand at those levels, and if we're gonna start retesting, let's just say, this ascending trend line, this impulsive movement to the upside, $80,000 ish Bitcoin price would be a healthy thing, and I would accumulate more here. If the price is gonna break this ascending trend line, then another impulsive movement, another demand zone would be at $70,000. A lot of people were talking about $70,000, so I want to jump on the charts and see what is the logical explanation, where's our data, why it is a possible scenario to retest $70,000 once again. So let's just take a look on the logarithmic, on the linear charts. Let's jump on that. And where's my brush tool? So based on the previous rally, we respect every single time 50-day moving average, and every single time we break through that, let's just say experience a breakdown through the 50-day moving average, of course a retest, and we're jumping straight into the bear market. So 50-day moving average on a weekly time frame is still, I cannot say it holds us. We didn't even retest that, but if it's gonna climbing up towards the upside and the Bitcoin price is gonna start falling, we are experiencing that $80,000 or even a $70,000 demand zone. Look at those beautiful weekly impulsive movements, impulsive candles, impulsive bullish candles. This is where our juicy demand zones are. And if you're a Bitcoin believer, if you're investing in Bitcoin, do the dollar cost average all the way to the downside. Create your own strategy, do your own research. Of course, nothing in here is financial advice, but this is what I would do. And of course, the massive demand we have at this consolidation phase by using linear charts, simple linear charts. And if the 200 moving average is going to be let's just say, move towards the upside once again together, and we're going to break through that 50-day moving average, the next support would be, this is just an educational guess, we're going to start triggering this 200 moving average, and together with this massive demand zone. So approximately, more or less, yes, $70,000, a pullback to a $70,000, it is a very realistic scenario, because look how market moves in general. Rally to the upside, a pullback, rally, pullback, pull, rally, bear market, rally, consolidation, rally. So the pullbacks are inevitable. You have to accept the fact that you'll see those pullbacks. I cannot imagine the God candle that everybody is talking on Twitter, and I just cannot imagine that massive pump to $200,000. So yeah. So this would be my scenario, and despite the fact that we're facing that overbought territory and it is the time to cool off a little bit, yes, the pullback scenario is in my head, and according to the supply and demand, I'm looking at those juicy levels where I could buy more Bitcoin. According to the, let's just say, Bitbo.io that I'm using time over time. Once again, those, let's just say, power law model. I like this model because why I like this model? Because it perfectly connects ascending trend lines. I mean, ascending resistance, ascending support. In general, look at the bigger picture. The price, I mean, the markets tend to trend up. And we are right now in the middle. And everyone is expecting to break towards the upside and start testing like $150,000 or $500,000 worth of Bitcoin, which is crazy. But the downside scenario for us to start accumulating more Bitcoin, it is also a possible scenario. So if we're going to see that sharp movement to the downside, the 50s, 60s, or even 70s, I mean, it depends on how sharp Bitcoin could go to the downside. I mean, if we're going to start consolidating like this and gonna start pumping once again, boom, breakout, and then rally to the upside. Of course, I don't know the future, but I most surely can understand what can I expect in the upcoming months by this part if we're gonna see that boring consolidation. So yes, in general, by using educational guess and my simple naked eye, $65,000-$70,000, it is a very realistic scenario to retest that ascending trend line that acts as a support, resistance, linear regression fit, price, end of day. So yeah, this yellow line, what is the price at the current moment? So sometimes when you're creating and you're connecting more dots at the bottom, at the top, you get those juice levels. At what levels? There's a possibility to see what level in the near future, at pullback. So let's just take a step back on the weekly time frame. I mean, let's jump straight back on the weekly time frame. And from the top to the 50-day moving average, let's just say would be a healthy 30%, let's just say, pullback, negative 30%. And if this whole demand would be approximately somewhere around here. So let's just take a whole chunk. 35, negative $40,000. It would be a healthy scenario. I mean, in general, those pullbacks, yeah, it is what it is. And then we're going to start rallying up to the upside once again. But the main thing is I'm questioning myself, and I made a video about this. If we're going to compare the history, of course, the history may not repeat itself, but sometimes it's rhymes. So I'm questioning myself, if this was our first rally, like we see here, and this is like a second one, and we're going to go straight to the downside, straight to hell, into the bear market, or this is only our first leg up. 1, 2. So we are seeing like a first, and we need to see second, and this consolidation, this let's just call it a bull flag. This is what we experienced right back in 2020, 2021. So this is like a very interesting situation, and we're gonna see if it's gonna play out or not. No one has the crystal ball. I wish I have this. And yeah, in general, I'm expecting a pullback, and during those, like looking at those juicy demand zones, 1, 2, 3. I will accumulate Bitcoin all the way to the downside. And of course, let's just take a look quickly on where's our CME futures gap. Here it is on the daily time frame. So a lot of people were talking about this SME futures gap, or because most of the time, yeah, those gaps always needs to be filled. And this SME gap or CME gap, I don't know how to even pronounce that correctly, but it perfectly connects, let's just say approximately somewhere together with this 200 EMA. And we're breaking through that, I mean, experiencing a breakdown through that 50-day moving average. So let's just say from the top to the, where's my mouse? Quickly, from the top to the bottom, negative approximately 28-30% drawdown would be a healthy thing. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I mean, I need for you to be prepared for all of the scenarios. Hope for the best, but plan for the worst. In other words, expect those juicy demand zones to be filled, or let's just say those fair value gaps for those who are trading Forex and using those Forex terms. I'm waiting for a retest. If the whole shit start hitting the fan, I'm waiting for those retests at those juicy demand zones. And for me, in my opinion, the pullbacks are a healthy thing. Of course, there's like opportunity for us to start accumulating more Bitcoin or any type of coin that we like and we believe in that project. So this is me if the price is going to start falling. That's what I would do if I were you, if I am Bitcoin like a believer and want to invest more and more into Bitcoin. So again, nothing in here is a financial advice. Do your own research. The next video will be about Ethereum. How low can Ethereum go? Talking about Bitcoin, according to the history, let's just take a look on the weekly time frame once again. Look, every single time, supply and the demand strategy. Let's just imagine that this is our accumulation, that boring phase, and we already discussed in my Telegram that we probably will have a longer and longer cycle than we have in the previous one. Look at this as an example, consolidation phase. Why I would like accumulate at those levels? Because look at the past. We experiencing that nasty drawdown, we filled our previous consolidation phase that works as a demand, and then another rally to the upside. So a pullback to retest that demand. So this type of scenario, in other language, should be in your head. And yeah, expect for those pullbacks. It is like a natural and healthy thing to see. Accumulate more if you're like a believer in the Bitcoin. That's what I would do once again. And yeah, I'm going to see you in the next one. Peace out.